Hi folks, Mark and Haley here from the Delta Force Paintball Training Academy. In this video we're going to teach you about the safe operation of our fill stations and our compressed air cylinders. Now for the sake of this video we have disconnected the air system so we cannot make any mistakes, and we have removed the bolts from any paintball guns. This will allow us to talk to you without having to wear goggles. Obviously when you are doing so you would wear a set of paintball approved goggles to keep you safe at all times. Let's go ahead and talk about the air bottle first of all. We're going to go through the different. So the air bottle is a steel composite air bottle that holds up to 3,000 pounds per square inch of compressed air inside it. It's split into three different pieces: the bottle itself at the back behind the neoprene cover, the regulator, and the collar. And the collar is what screws into the gun. The regulator takes that 3,000 pounds per square inch of compressed air and turns into around about 300 psi, and it's 300 psi that actually goes into the paintball gun itself. Now there's some parts in the air bottle that you need to be aware of, what their function is, how they can go wrong. So let's go through them. First of all, at the very tip of the air bottle there is an O-ring. This O-ring is designed to seal the air in the ASA on the bottom of the paintball gun. If this O-ring is missing or broken or damaged, you will hear air leaking from the bottom of the gun. It's a very easy fix. You're going to make sure that you ask a senior staff member or a center manager to assist you in doing this. The threads on the air bottle can become dirty, full of paintball, full of dirt, full of sand. So if you are ever replacing an air bottle, it's really important that you clean the threads on the air bottle before you put it back in. It's the dirt that causes them to get stuck inside and really hard to remove. There is a silver bit on the regulator of the air bottle. This is the fill nipple. The fill nipple is how we put air into the bottle. The fill nipple has a cover. Simply, it's called the fill nipple cover. And we'll hold this a little bit closer so that you can see the O-ring on there as well. It's really important that there's an O-ring holding on the fill nipple cover. What this is going to do is it stops dirt ending up into the fill nipple, which in turn would get blown back into the air bottle itself. Every single time we use a paintball gun we need to make sure that the fill nipple has a cover. Moving around the air bottle, we then have two what look like nuts or bolts, and these are called burst discs, and they are sacrificial discs that are designed to rupture at a certain pressure rather than the air bottle rupturing or causing damage to the internals of the gun. Sometimes, and rarely, you may hear these going off, and the noise will sound like all of the air is escaping at once. It can be quite alarming for the first time you hear it. It is designed to do this, again, rather than damaging the internals of the gun or causing a problem with the air bottle. You would not service these yourself. A qualified staff member or center manager will do so. Moving around the air bottle, you now have the gauge, and the gauge tells you how much pressure is inside the air bottle at any time. The gauge can sometimes get cracked if players drop it or hit it into a rock. Again, you will not service this at any time. A qualified staff member or center manager will do so. On the sides of the regulator you have two grub screws. These grub screws are here and on the other side. These grub screws go through the collar and bite into the metal of the regulator, and they stop the collar from becoming undone if you were to take the air bottle off a gun. You are not allowed to remove this air bottle from a gun until you've received training from a senior staff member and have been signed off by a center manager. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put that back down, and we're going to show you how the fill station works. The fill stations that you use will look something like this. Every fill station will have a hose that comes into the fill station. It will have the unit itself, which comprises a few main parts: the handle on top and the fill whip, which is a length of hose that comes out of the fill station and leading to the gun. Different fill stations will have different lengths. Some may have springs around them, some may be flexi hoses, but in general they're all going to look something pretty similar. At the end of the fill whip or the hose is a quick disconnect. You'll sometimes hear people referring to it as a QD. It's a quick disconnect, and this is a spring-loaded collar that goes back and forwards, and there's ball bearings inside, and this is what grips onto the gun. Let's go ahead and show you how we would fill a paintball gun. When we earlier in the video we mentioned the fill nipples, which are the silver part on the side of the air bottle that lets us put air into the gun. what we want to do is we want to somehow attach the fill nipple to the air hose or the fill whip. And we do so by pulling back the QD and inserting the fill nipple into the end. We then release the QD, and this is the important bit. We do the tug check, so where we give it a quick tug to make sure it's on properly. If you do not do this, you run the risk of it not being in properly, and it can blow out of the end. And so we'll do one of two things. You'll probably lose the O-ring from the inside, which, as you can imagine, would be really annoying on a busy day where you need every fill station. Or worse than that, it can cause the fill whip to move with some speed and some pressure, and can cause serious damage if it was to hit you in the arm or the hand or somewhere on your body. So we're just going to take that off, and I'll show you one more time. So we want to pull back the QD and insert the fill nipple into the end of the hose. Release the QD and give the gun a quick tug check. Make sure it's on properly. We're then going to operate the handle with one hand, with the other hand, and this is going to fill the air cylinder with compressed air. It's important that you're able to see the gauge on the side of the air bottle. We want to fill it until it's completely full. Just because it makes no noise, it may still be filling the last little bit. So when you think it's full, all you do is you release the handle, and what that will do is it will let a large burst of air escape from the fill station. There's a little hole at the side of the fill station just under the handle, and this is designed to allow the air that's trapped in the hose between the fill station and the air cylinder to escape cleanly. Once that is purged, we then want to remove the air bottle by pulling back the quick disconnect, the QD, and pulling it out cleanly. Put the fill nipple cover back onto the fill nipple and move on to the next air cylinder.